Jesus said, "Man cannot live on bread alone, but from every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." You're listening to Daily Truth.
Let me be clear that apart from representation, there is no salvation. Because remember, brothers and sisters, the only reason why we are redeemed is because there is one who represented us perfectly. And by his work, not ours, he has garnished for us the very righteousness of God. If you object at being represented by Adam, then you have no logical and consistent basis for being represented by Christ. And Adam, for the record, did not misrepresent you. Adam was the best of us. Adam was the best of us. God did not sabotage the human race by picking the worst of its members and subjecting all the others to be represented by him. God picked for us a champion, and the champion fell. But to the praise of his glorious grace forever and ever, there was a greater champion. Compare with me for a moment Adam and the last Adam, Christ. The first Adam, in seeing the providence and mercy of God, the first Adam who was appointed as our federal head to represent all mankind, he did not begin his life as a babe or a toddler or a teenager. God did not expect a 3-year-old to resist the temptations of the serpent. Adam began his life as a full-grown man, able to rationalize as a man, with all the powers of logic and discernment of a man. And he was not placed in a pit of vipers, in a wilderness or a desert without provision. He was placed in the garden. The scripture says that Adam was actually formed from the dust of the world in a wilderness type place. But he was quickly transitioned by God and placed in a protective environment, a place of plenty, a place of provision. And Adam was not set in the garden with one tree that would be morally right and proper to eat from, but all the others off limits. It was the reverse. There was only one no in the Garden of Eden. Everything else was yes. So a full-grown man without the sin nature, created in a state of integrity and placed in a protected and provided context with only one no. God did not sabotage us. He gave us the very best circumstances and the very best representative. And yet, we all sinned in Adam, is what the scripture says. You sinned in Adam. And you might say, I wasn't there. I didn't do it. Adam is the one who sinned. In the same way that elsewhere, the scripture says that Abraham paid tithes and Levi, with the Levitical priesthood, the head of the priesthood, paid tithes, in a sense, to Melchizedek as the higher priest, the forever priest, because he was there in Abraham's loins. He had not yet been born, but by virtue of his father, his lineage, Abraham doing one thing, it is as though, in biblical terms, that Levi did it also. In the same way, although you and I were not there, you and I sinned in Adam. and for any who would still object at this principle of federal headship. Not only do you therefore have to reject the gospel and being represented by Christ, but one of the greatest proofs that you sinned in Adam is your own sin.